Do you want to talk about the whole flags in the Senate issue?
Look, only briefly. It is so incredibly insulting to say that the flag being worn by Senator Price into the Senate was a prop.
They are gunning for her, sorry.
Yeah.
They are.
And the Liberals are as well. So the left of the Liberal Party are feeding this. They are terrified of her. But this was said, so she was accused of using the flag as a prop by the same senator that held up a fish inside the Senate.
Yeah.
Right? So you can walk in there with a dead fish as a prop that
Yeah.
smells and drips and who knows what else. But you can't wear the flag of the nation whose Senate you are in.
On National Flag Day.
On National Flag Day in the Senate. That flag will be hanging up the front
Yeah.
alongside a bunch of others that, in my opinion, shouldn't be there.
Agree.
But she's not allowed to wear that. That's a prop. This is so beneath the dignity of any, or it should be beneath the dignity of anyone in a position of power, and yet here we are.
It's just so insulting that we have to lower ourselves to the unintelligible commentary from the Greens.
Yeah.
And these morons, like at the end of the day, whether or not you like how Australia was founded, it was founded the way it was. We are now, 250 years down the road? More? Who knows? Whatever.
So the bicentennial was in 84, I think it was. Anyway, yeah, 230, 240. I
Okay,
should know,
getting,
but I don't.
Getting
Yeah.
close
Yeah.
yeah, right? Does it matter at this
88.
point? Yeah. I know, I don't think I was alive.
I was already at primary school. Got to be 88, 87. I don't know. Anyway, somewhere there.
So this is where we're at now. We can't even be proud to be Australian. We can't even show our flag. It's the same thing in
We don't
in
even
England.
know when we were founded.
Yeah, it's the same thing in England. And
Yeah.
what I think their ultimate goal is to just have anarchy. I was saying this to G last night. Like, what is the goal here? Repeal everything back to what? What is their version?
They're not repealing anything back, and they're not aiming for anarchy. They're adding more, and they're aiming for absolute stifling control. What they're removing is identity. In the same way that Romans, when they would conquer, they would require native populations that they conquered to stop using their own language, to stop worshipping their own gods, to stop celebrating their own national holidays. They would strip them of any of that identity. What's happened is the West has been invaded by woke ideology, by self-hatred. I would argue, if you want to know the spiritual roots of this, read Return of the Gods by Jonathan Cahn. Very, very good book on this. We've seen a return of ancient demons, essentially Canaanite gods that have been worshipped by almost every culture over time under different names. The Greeks had them, the Romans had them, the Canaanites had them. We've seen them, we see different expressions of them in South American religions as well. And we've seen a return of this essentially paganism is essentially what actually transgenderism, wokeness, all of this is actually a modernized expression of paganism.
Yeah.
We've seen that come back, and it has conquered.
Yeah.
And what it's trying to do now is to strip us of all of our symbols, of all of our identity, of our language, because they're perverting and subverting the words and the language all the time. They are stripping us of our identity, our strength, our ability to speak and to have a flag to rally around, to have something to be proud of. They're denying us our history. And try and look at what's happening with the voice in Victoria, not the voice, but the treaty in Victoria right now, where they're going to ram it through schools and they're going to teach every single non-Indigenous child to be ashamed of our history, especially if you're a European, to be ashamed of our history. And they're stripping us of our identity for the purpose of complete control. They are trying to engineer a lugubrious society.
Ha! Well done.
Thank you. I was quite proud of that. That's why I paused a little about 30 seconds ago. I kind of had that moment where it was like I'd lost my way. I hadn't lost my way. My brain was going back to remember the word.
Well played.
Thank you. But it is the appropriate word. That is what they're trying to manufacture is make Australia lugubrious so that we are more easily controlled and we don't feel that we have anything to be proud of.
Is this the basically heralding in a new communist age in Australia? That's essentially where we're going.
A new totalitarian age. See, people, if you say communist, people go, well, it's not communism because there's these details that are different to communism. No, it doesn't matter. Totalitarian.
Yeah.
Right? People get obsessed about the left versus right and whether it's fascist versus communist or whether it's not, blah, blah, blah. And we do talk about that here from time to time. In reality, that's a distraction because both left and right, are ultimately totalitarian. They want the government to have total control. They disagree with what the government should do with that total control, but they both believe the government should have total control. Libertarians, what makes us different is not that we're a little bit less left or a little bit more right or anything. No. It's that we believe in freedom. We believe that we're on the freedom versus totalitarian axis, not the left versus right axis. And what all they want is more government, more. And this is what, when people talk about the Liberal Party, Labor Party in Australia, or the Republicans and Democrats in the US being two wings of the same bird or two boots of the same oppressor, they're correct in the sense that both of them agree that the government should have more power. Both of them agree that the government should have more control, more rules, more of everything. They disagree with which rules they should have and how that power should be used, but they both agree that they should have more.
And
that's what we're fighting
the worst
against.
thing is, like, as I said, the average citizen is cheering this on. Why isn't the government doing more?
The government should do more to help with whatever.
Actually, back to, this was something I did want to bring up before and it left my mind, but talking about the machete crime in Victoria, I've noticed now a lot of the Sudanese communities now speaking up, and there's a lot of discussion around it. And I can't help but notice the rhetoric is about why aren't they helping us? Why is this happening to us? There's an element of racism. Oh, there's an undertone that
implied.
it's racism. And this just makes me so angry because you're saying that Australians are doing this to you. Your children are doing this to each other.
And you're exactly right. And that's one of the points I made in my video that I released yesterday, was that the father of one of the two boys that was slain on the weekend came out and said, this is happening to my community. I said, yes, and you're a grieving father and I understand where you're coming from, but this is being done by your community. And there are people in your community who know who did this. And they're not coming forward. They're not coming to the cops and saying, hey, we know. Let's start there. This
is an imported problem, and that's not racist to say. We didn't have machete hacking attacks prior to this.
Murders of that nature were very rare. They happened, but they were very rare. We had backpack killers.
I'm not saying that murder never happened.
It's not as though we were some kind of a paradise, but we did not have a dynamic like this. Where it was just this ongoing drumbeat of people killing each other in the streets.
And this is the segue into the next topic. This is why I wanted to bring it up.
Sorry, before you do that, I can hear something. Hang on. What can I? The sourdough is calling out to you.
Again? Has it been half an hour?
I reckon it has. It's now, we've been going. You've only done it twice during the show. We've been going for well over an hour and a half.
It must be time. Well, I'm glad someone's paying attention.
No, that's right. I could just hear it like,
Is this the ultimate tangent? Is this the ultimate tangent?
Stretch me.
I will stretch you.
That was very bad for my throat.
Is this the most random tangent?
Look, so there's a theory in acting called the independent activity. That when you are rehearsing a scene and even potentially performing a scene, there are certain directors that are really wonderful at this. Give the character an independent activity to have to do. That might be washing the dishes. Soap operas are notorious for this. Someone will be doing housework, and it's really obvious in those cases. But there's a way to do it artfully. And it just leads to more natural delivery of lines. It means that they're busy doing something and the dialogue actually relaxes and settles into a much more natural position. And I wonder, could we have like independent activities? Like we just got to have G just walk in randomly and do 52 pickup and just throw playing cards all over the table. And the independent activity is we have to gather them all and then sort them all into order and see if any are missing and just keep talking like nothing happened.
There we go. Sourdough stretched. Well, like a true masochist, you are back again to watch another segment of the Oddcast. So at this point, you should probably be subscribing and telling every single person in your life about the Oddcast because, let's be honest, we've got a lot of work to do and we need to get together and suffer through this torture because there's nothing like fighting against our government with some good mates by your side. So much like a Bunnings sausage, we are going to become a staple in your life and we would very much appreciate that you go and support us via the Buy Us a Coffee button or buy some sweet merch. Also very appreciated. And join us next week. We'd appreciate it.